Hello, good morning or afternoon or evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar on NABA summer courses. My name is Julia. I am the Global Training Manager for Laureate Design, and together with my colleague here today, we will take you through the offer of the NABA summer courses for 2016. So let me introduce you Evelina Scrivani, our Head of Short Programs. Hi, Evelina.
Hi, Julia. Hello, everyone. My name is Evelina. I'm in charge of short programs. It's an office taking care of short-term courses, so courses not leading to a degree awarding, but to the attainment of a final certificate or transcript, among which, of course, a summer program.
So thank you for taking the time of being with us. Evelina has been in charge of these programs for a long time, so she's really an expert of what happens during these exciting few summer weeks where students get the chance to come and experience NABA. Just a technical information, if you have any question at any time, please write them in the chat box that you see here on the right, and we will address them as soon as possible, okay? So let's start by talking briefly about Milan and the reason why hundreds of students every year choose Milan as a destination for their summer programs. As maybe some of you know, if you have been to Milan already, or if you have heard about Milan, Milan is considered as one of the world capitals for fashion and design because throughout the entire year, there are a series of events and fairs and of experiencing what it means to be in Milan. Here in this picture, you see some few images. The one on the left, on the top left, this one is from a cartel showroom. This is a cartel historical, iconic product. The one on the right is the Prada store in the Galleria. Galleria is the historical, probably one of the oldest shopping areas in the city. And this is where the first Prada store opened a long time ago, before it became a worldwide power. And here at the bottom, you can see the Navigli, which is the neighborhood where NABA is located, which is actually a very trendy and cool neighborhood. And it's really 5-minute walking distance from here. So you would be really living the Milan experience from the heart of the city. And a few words about NABA, for those of you who don't know us. NABA is an academy with over 30 years of tradition. It is part of a huge international network with universities all over the world. And NABA itself is a very international environment. Usually we welcome students from over 70 nationalities, and the summer courses, of course, are a very eclectic and mixed environment because there are people from all over the world coming and joining us for those 2 weeks, right?
It's right, yeah. For example, last year we had about 350 students and we counted about 38 nationalities, different nationalities. So it's a really multicultural environment and it's a great experience both for the students but also for us of the staff, the teachers, of getting in touch with different cultures, traditions, sharing ideas and best practices. So I think it's a really huge opportunity for everyone.
And it is also part of your training as designers, as creative minds, to be exposed to diversity, so to be exposed to different ways of thinking. You do not only make friends from all over the world, but you really get acquainted to different ways of imagining fashion, design, and art. And you will be guided in doing so by the NABA faculty, which is made of renowned professionals. So all our faculty members are practicing professionals. And what they teach, what they share in class, is really what they live every year in their experience. So you really get access to the most fresh and contemporary knowledge in the creative fields. Now, here you can see a little screenshot of our campus. So this is the place where you would be joining the NABA summer courses. The campus is made of 13 buildings, and as I was telling you, is located in the Navigli, our creative district, the Movida district, as they say. So a lot of fun and nightlife beyond classes. And the campus has a series of state-of-the-art infrastructures, so from the IT laboratories to all the materials and fashion labs, which also summer students can use during their experience.
Yes, yeah. For example, in fashion design, not the first level, the introductory level, as you will see, but in the second level, intermediate one, students will be able to go to the fashion lab and use sewing machines, mannequin, all the necessary equipment.
So you can really learn by doing, which is one of our mottos at NABA, the fact of learning through the daily experimentation, learning by doing. So let's have a closer look at what are the 2016 summer courses. The programs are divided in 4 areas: the fashion design area, the visual and digital arts, the fashion area, the design area, the visual and digital arts area, and a broader range of programs in the Italian culture and lifestyle. So for people who are interested in the Italian creative way. There are 3 levels of courses. You will see them more in detail in a minute. So we have the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced courses. So depending on what your current level is, you will be more or less able to attend different levels of the programs. They all last 2 weeks, and they are structured as intensive research and project experiences. Evelina, would you tell us, like, what is a typical day or week of a summer student like?
Yeah, sure. Okay, each course contains 45 hours of lessons. All the 3 sessions start on a Tuesday. So students will be able maybe to come a little bit earlier on a Saturday or Sunday to start getting settled in the city, explore the environment, and then on Tuesday they can start with the course. On the first day, we start at 10 with a 1-hour orientation session organized by our office, where we give some information about the school, the campus, all the infrastructures and the services available to students, and on the city of Milano. So on the first day, you will have the basic information on how to survive in the city and make the most of your experience. Then, of course, we will be there for you for the entire period of the course to support you and give you suggestions and help in case you need it. But at least on the first day, you have an overview of everything. And then at 11, you start with your classes, and you have lesson on the first day, just for the first day, from 11 to 1, then 1 hour break, and then again lesson from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Then the other 8 days, your classes will start at 10, then you will have lesson from 10 to 1, 1 hour break, and then again lesson from 2 to 4 p.m., so a little bit earlier than the first day. And after 4 p.m., you will be free. We usually organize some free time activities in collaboration with our student life office. This office is in charge of organizing extracurricular activities and events for students. Of course, these kind of activities are not mandatory. They are offered for you, and you are free to choose whether to attend or not. Last year, for example, they organized some welcome parties or aperitifs for the students, and they collaborated with the Milano city government. Each year, the Milano city government organizes a series of events organized under the name of Milano Summer School. These are free visits to museums, some cultural activities for all the students in Milan in the summer period. So not only NABA summer students, but also students attending other summer courses at other universities. So it will be a good opportunity to meet students from other backgrounds and attending other kind of courses.
So you have really a lot of stuff to do beyond the classes. I would add, correct me if I'm wrong, also bear in mind that all these courses are project-based. This means that maybe you are done with your class, but you still have to work on your project. So all these nice parties and activities are possible in combination with the research work that you're often required to do in your summer school, right? So a lot of partying, but not only partying.
You will have to balance a little bit the 2 things. Yeah.
Okay, so this is applicable to all the summer courses. Now let's give a closer look to what the programs are. We are going to start from the programs in the fashion field. I would just like to stop to ask you something. There are many people with us today. If some of you just want to tell us which areas you are more interested in, we can maybe provide you a deeper insight on a specific program. Otherwise, we are just going to go through all the summer courses and give you an overview of all of them. So, as I said, starting from the courses in the fashion area, you see that there are 3 sessions. This is applicable to all the summer courses. The first session runs from the end of June to the beginning of July. The second session runs from mid-July, from the 12th to the 22nd. And the third session is from the end of July to August 5th, so really very much into summertime. That's why we leave you free weekends to also go to the seaside, for example. In the first session, all the courses are beginner level. You see there is only one little ball. This means beginner. So for people who are really willing to focus on the creative aspect of fashion, there is a first beginner session, Fashion Design 1, and then there is an intermediate session, Fashion Design 2, and then the advanced session with the 3 little balls, which is specialized on textile design. What do we mean by beginner, intermediate, and advanced? Usually the beginner sessions are suitable for students who are either finishing high school and they're interested in that area, but they don't have any previous background, or for students who have a different background. Example, I'm a business major, but I'm passionate about fashion, but I've never ever tried nothing of fashion, so I would come to a beginner session. While the intermediate sessions are more for students who are in their second, third year of university, so they already have a background and they want to further explore. And then the students of the third level, so the advanced, are usually people who are already pretty experienced and are master students. So depending on your level, you can autonomously decide which course suits better for you. You can also combine sessions if you want. Thank you to Mimi and Shagik for letting us know. So we will touch on both subjects. So we were seeing the fashion design programs. Now, when it comes to the more fashion management related subjects, here you see that we have the beginner course in fashion marketing and communication. Then we have an intermediate fashion trend scouting. And then, well, in the third session, we repeat the beginner, so it's not relevant for you. For example, Mimi, you said that you're interested in trend spotting. So this second course here would be probably a very good option for you, because the purpose of this session is really to get you to know what is hot in this moment in the fashion world. And what is a better place for doing it than one of the design capitals? By the way, another course that you could be interested in on top of the fashion trend scouting, or if you're willing to combine a couple of courses, could be the fashion image and styling area, because this is a way to experiment and test the trend that you spot. So you figure out what is trendy, what is interesting, and then you combine it into an image, into a styling work. Our faculty in this field is an experienced team. They are pretty famous in the fashion world, right? So
yes, it's a company, a trend scouting company specialized in this sector, and of course also in fashion styling. They organize both courses, the styling one, so introduction level, and the styling 2 course, in a very professional way. They work in a team with a team of photographers, models, makeup artists, in order to give you an overview on how the professional world really works. So students will get an overview of the fashion system. They will be involved in a series of research and analysis throughout the city, and then they will be divided into teams. Each team will be responsible for conducting a photo shooting. Students will be also given the freedom of choosing the location of the photo shooting. So on 2 specific days of the course, students will go to that location with the photographer and all the styling team, and they will be able to realize the photo shooting. Then, after that, they will work on the photo shooting and the related editorial, as though they were working for a fashion magazine. And this is a really interesting experience. This is done in the styling 1 and then replicating in the styling 2 at a more difficult level. Styling 2 students, if they are advanced enough, will also have the possibility of making a video, a professional video during the shooting.
So a pretty interesting combination. And you see, Mimi, you're asking how you can combine both courses. So in your case, for example, what you could do is coming for the trend scouting session, and then you can decide if you want to come for the previous session where you could take fashion marketing, or you could take fashion image and styling. If you've never done styling before, probably the image and styling 1 would be a good option for you. In this case, you would be first combining and then spotting the trends, so in a different sequence, but it still could be very interesting and interactive for you. We actually have a nice video that shows the output of one of the past sessions of fashion image and styling. We are going to show it to you in a few minutes because we are afraid that we don't want to create problems with the connection. So let's finish the overview of the fashion courses and then we're gonna start the video, okay? So a couple of more minutes of patience. So for you, trend hunter or trend spotter, you have seen you could take these ones and the image and styling, as we said. For people who are more interested specifically in visual merchandising, okay, Mimi, you're an image consultant at a TV station in Dubai and you're mostly concerned about trend spotting. Well, as an image consultant, I think styling could be also relevant for you, but you can also decide to really specifically come and focus on trend scouting. So if you want to just spend 2 weeks here, just come once. If you want to also get a piece of styling, you can either come earlier or you can come later on and take the image and styling in the final session. And you can only spend 2 weeks, then definitely come for the trend scouting. That would be your perfect fit, probably. The faculty is the same, so you would be enjoying it anyways. And in any case, you are all in the same campus, so even if you're following different courses, you have the opportunity of attending what is done in the other course. For example, when they make a final presentation, you can go and join and see the work of the other students. So there is a lot of interactivity between the courses. So if you want, you can also take a look at what the others do. I'm glad that you like it. Still for the fashion people, a few more examples. The accessories design course, there is no beginner level because accessories have a hard, it's difficult to start doing them, so it's not something you learn in 2 weeks. So we only have a more advanced intermediate level. And then there is an advanced course in fashion photography, which can also be interesting if you're interested in all the aspect of communicating fashion. This is actually done in a professional studio with a professional photographer who allows students to really work and shoot in his location, in his facilities. Now we're moving to design. Before we go into the design programs, we want to show you the video of the summer fashion styling course, I think of last year. So we hope you enjoy it. If you can't see it, just be patient. We are going to come back in a few minutes. So just stay with us.
Like the legend of the phoenix. All ends with beginnings. All ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? What keeps the planet spinning? What's in the beginning? We've come too far.
So it looks like some people were having issues with the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to post you the link so you can watch it after the webinar, okay? We try, but it always depends on the people's connection. So either Mimi, you will be able to complete seeing it later, and Shagik, you can see it later. If you're interested in fashion, even though you told us that your main focus is interior design. So let's now come to the educational offer of the summer courses in the interior design field. The principle is quite similar in the sense of having interior design 1, beginner, 2, intermediate, and then 3, advanced. And what is usually when we offer the advanced courses, they have a specific subject, while the beginner and the intermediate are kind of a general introduction. So you see the same structure is for product 1 and 2, and then the third has a specific focus, which is on light design. Then on the third session, we repeat the beginner courses for those who could not attend in June, but they still want to take the basics. So, for example, in your case, Shakik, depending on the level you're in, if you've never done interior design in your life, you can come for the interior design 1 session, or if you have a wider time availability, you could come and combine session 1 and session 2. So taking the beginner and the intermediate course. On the other hand, if you already are in the interior design field and you do want to take a specific course because you already are a professional, for example, you can come and take specifically the interior design for hotels course, which has a quite specific focus, and so you're already inside your industry. You will be graduating with a bachelor degree. Okay, so then you are somewhere in between second and third level. What I would say is, depending on how much time you want to spend with us and how long you want to benefit of your Italian experience and how strong is your interest in hotels, which are a pretty big thing in the contemporary interior design, you can decide if you want to come for 1 or 2 sessions. Consider that coming for a longer time allows you to also benefit more of the city, because there are also a lot of studio visits which are done throughout the course. And for example, the interior design students last year, together with the light design students, they went visiting interesting spaces such as the Luce house, that you know it better than I.
Yeah, it's a Philips Center for lighting design that opened up in Milan in 2013, and it's a specialized center where different lighting environments have been created to give to lighting designers and also students an idea of how different lighting systems, light sources, electrical equipment can be used and work. Same thing for interior design. Some field trips outside to hotels have been organized in order to provide students with information on the latest trends in the hospitality industry, the material used, the kind of furniture that is currently used in the top hotels here in Milan, but also at an international level.
And also the concept, of course, of what is contemporary hospitality, evolving life. Shahid, to your point, a course in retail design. Well, you know, retail design is at the crossroad of several disciplines, because in the Interior Design 2 workshop, there is a general project to be developed, so it might be a retail project, why not? The light design has a specific focus on one aspect, which is fundamental to retail, but it's fundamental to any interior space. Or if you want something which is specific on retail, but that would be fashion retail, let's go back in a minute, you can go for the visual merchandising course, which is like, you know, how do you represent a brand in a retail space? Of course, there would be a strong focus on fashion, but consider that usually fashion is where the most advanced retail strategies are, let's say, they are born, they're experimented before they get transmitted to the other industries. So in a way, coming to learn what's going on in the fashion retail is a way to ensure your knowledge for the future of, let's say, retail design in general. So probably in your case, you could decide which direction you want to give to your retail experience. If you want to be more towards fashion, or if you want to be more in general in the interior design, or if you want to focus on light. Let me add one note on this. If you've never been to Milan, the fact of being here for 2 weeks to take a design course, it's going to be extremely open-minded for you, no matter which specific area of interior design you're interested in, because you would be able to see the top concept stores of all fields, so you can kind of get an overview of everything, even, and you're doing it with faculty who maybe they're teaching hotels, but they also have to do a lot of retail in their career. So you really get exposed to a lot of diversity. So if I can give you a suggestion, since it's a summer experience, so you have a little bit of flexibility, you don't necessarily have to gain credits, just come for the experience, pick up the subject which sounds more interesting to you at a general level, and I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy it, even if it's not going to be exactly the retail course that you were, exactly the retail course that you were looking for. What do you think? After having seen hundreds of students in your career.
You're right. Yeah, if you don't have any specific credit requirements from your home university, then you basically come here, yeah, for the course content, but also for the overall experience of being here in Milan and exploiting what the city offers to design students in general.
So you're going to become a super expert, even of retail, if you're coming with that specific intention. So you're welcome. We hope to see you here in some course. Moving forward with the areas, then let's move to the visual and digital arts area. Of course, Italy is more famous for fashion and design, but we also have a strong tradition in visual communication. And this year we are having two focuses. One is the photographic one, and the other is towards the creation of image, maybe hand illustration or digital illustration up to animation. So as of photography, as you can see here, there is a sequence of courses which go from the basics of digital photography. Why do we teach digital and not analogic? Because in 2 weeks, if you want to experiment something, if you want to get to some result, we cannot close you 2 weeks in a dark room. That's not the spirit. We really want students to experiment, and digital photography is way faster, on top of being the tool that everybody nowadays uses. So digital photography 1 evolves into photography 2, and then it can be zoomed in on fashion photography. Also here, as we were seeing before, the students would be hosted in a professional studio, which is actually the studio of their teacher, right?
Exactly, yeah. Photography 2 and fashion photography, so the two more advanced courses will take place in a professional studio with all the necessary equipment, so lighting, backgrounds, software, so you will be able to practice like real photographers.
And the professor, we cannot be like, we cannot say names, but it's a pretty well-known one, and he really has a very strong network, so you would be like a photographer, like a real world photographer yourselves. So that's also an option for wannabe photographers, and especially if you come to Italy, probably you're interested in the glamorous side of photography, such as fashion photography. For those of you who have more of an artistic spirit and who want to really draw, you have a arts and crafts feeling, there are the illustration courses. From the hand illustration, which is really learning the basics of drawing and painting, and you know that they say that we can all learn drawing. If we have a good teacher and if we follow a certain methodology, we can all learn, even you and I. So it's really for people who want to get acquainted to a human relation with the drawing. So you start with hand illustration. Or if handmade is not your thing, the intermediate course is digital illustration. So it's the digital world that we are all more used to. Even though a drawing teacher would tell you that you need to be able to make hand drawings before you move to digital drawing. And that's why this is intermediate. It gives for granted some basic hand illustration skills. And then there is a cartoon animation course, which is specific for people who are interested in playing with animation. Here comes a question from an illustrator, a digital one. What sort of software we use in the digital illustration course? That's
the requirement is bringing your Wacom tablet. That's it. So requirements are Wacom tablet. Then we have our computer labs with all the necessary software and equipment. What you need, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all the necessary software. And what you need to bring from home, so you are already used to use it, is your Wacom tablet.
But of course, then with the Adobe Creative Suite,
exactly,
industry standards. That's what we also.
But we have our computer labs. So if you want to bring your own laptop, of course, it would be useful maybe to carry out some exercises and work after lesson time. Otherwise, if you don't want to bring your own laptop, you can use the computers in the computer lab.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, maybe there is another question coming from Laura on the digital illustration. Let's see. In the meanwhile, while we wait for Laura's question, let's just quickly cover the last area of our summer courses, which is the field of Italian culture and lifestyle. So throughout the years, because we've been offering summer courses for 10 years, 11, something like that, we have seen that there often is a group of people who are willing to come to spend a while in Italy, possibly in Milan, because they know that it's the contemporary capital, but they're not designers, they're not artists. They just want to enjoy the Italian way to culture, and they want to enjoy the Milanese lifestyle. So in the years, we have been developing a series of exploratory courses. And here you can see the one that we're offering for next year. The first one, Sketching Around Milan, is for people who are just interested in getting a feeling of the city and testing themselves in physically, okay? So they want to go around and not only watch the cathedral, the Duomo, or the castle, but they also want to try to represent it somehow. So this is not a course for people who want to be illustrators, but they just want to try themselves with the artistic side. So Sketching Around Milan. And then there are these other two courses, the cultural tours of the best in design and in fashion. And these are courses for people who want to understand the secret, the secret soul of Milan creative capital. What makes Milan so special? Which design showrooms, fashion showrooms? So the students really go around and visit the city, and they go and they visit the museums and the stores, and they also make interesting meetings, right? I heard a gossip last year. I don't know if you can confirm it.
Yeah, last year, for example, in cultural tour of the best in fashion in Milan, the students went for a visit to Fondazione Prada Foundation with the teacher, and they were able to meet Miuccia Prada, and they were also able to take a picture with her. So you can also meet very casually famous people. It can be here in Milano. Yeah.
So there also is a celebrity spotting side, but beyond that is really the opportunity of having opened doors, which are not always open to everyone, because the Fondazione Prada, yes, you can go and know it's a museum, but many other showrooms are visible only if you go there in an environment like this. So these are sometimes an option for our students, and often they also are an option for their parents, right? So if you're young and if your mom or dad want to come, sometimes it happens that while our students are, for example, typically in the beginner courses, their parents are watching around the city in these tours.
Yeah. This is a good combination, because for these courses, Italian culture and lifestyle, there are no specific admission requirements. You don't have to have already specific skills. Just a curiosity to get to know a city, and the willingness to go around. You have to be prepared to walk a little bit, to take some public transportation means,
comfortable
shoes. But I can assure you it's a lot of fun.
So if there are some parents in the audience, consider coming with your sons next summer to Milan. I see another question from Laura. So Laura, you're asking if it's possible for you to receive credit for the summer courses. So here's the thing. If you are already enrolled in a university, we can issue the credits, because every summer course issues 3 European credits.
Yeah.
However, you have to be already in a university. And in your case, since you would be starting next year, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to get the credits. Sorry. You can come, pick up a beginner course, then you enter your university, and when you come the following year, you can get the credits. You are already enrolled, so you are starting now. So you mean that this summer you would be between your third and second year? Because you have to be already in a curriculum.
You have to have started with classes.
So if you're already enrolled, but you're gonna start, you will be an entering freshman, but in the fall 2016, right? Let's see. Correct. So then, no, I'm afraid that until you start.
What we can do, we will be giving you a final attendance certificate and an evaluation form. Then maybe it's your own university that will be able to transfer the grade, the final evaluation, into your own credit system. This could be possible.
Okay. So there is the opportunity then. Yeah. But it would be up to your university.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. That's what your dean said. Well, then perfect, I guess. I mean, if they are willing to recognize them, you would have you would have the content, you will have the certificate of attendance, you would have the evaluation. So then, yeah, great, cool, good. Okay, Tatia, do you have a 6-month course for studying fashion design? Yes, of course we do. Actually, this is going to take us a little bit out of track. So my colleagues from the background, they're going to get, if you want to leave your email, and they're going to follow up and and give you the information on the 6-month options, because otherwise we go off track today. But yes, there is this opportunity. For the moment, we are talking about small periods, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But if you're already launched on 6 months, definitely we can. Okay. So we have gone through the main areas and all the courses. So now let's give a few technical informations, okay? So what are the requirements for NABA summer courses? We don't take, applying to a summer course is not as difficult or complicated as it is to apply for a degree or for a master program, of course, because it's a lighter experience. So what we require are some basic elements. We need you to be able to speak English, of course. We are not going to check, it's not like a degree, we don't require you a certificate. We assume that if you don't speak English, you are not coming, because what would you be coming for? Right?
Exactly. Well, the interaction will be in English.
So everything is going to be in English, so you'd rather be able to communicate. You don't have to be perfect. It's not a literature school, but of course you need to be able to make yourself understood and understand what's going on what's going on around you. So English language, number one. Number two, some courses have specific requirements. Again, this is up to you and to your understanding of your field. If you are still in high school, you are not going to take an advanced course in interior design, because you're not able, you don't know the design methodology, you don't know the tools, you don't know the culture, so it would be probably a loss of time for you, and it would be a problem for the class. So we require you to select the courses that better fit your level. If you're in doubt, you can always ask us. There is our colleague who's in charge of the educational advisor. We're going to give you his details in a few slides. So you can ask, you can explain what is your background and what is your level. If you have a portfolio, you can send some information and our colleague can counsel you. Then if you decide to enroll in the interior design for hotels, we are probably going to take you bureaucratically, but when you're going to arrive here, it's not going to be a good match. So try to choose what fits with your level. Okay. And in terms of age, we accept usually students from 18 years old. In the last years, we've been receiving requests also from younger students. So now we are able to accept students that are 16 years old. Of course, we will need parental consent. So there is a special form that parents need to sign to authorize the student present here. But so from 16 years old, you are welcome to join us. A few technical information when it comes to how do you apply and how do you come to Italy, how do you get a student visa to come for Italy if you need it. So there is the opportunity of applying online. Here you can see the link on lorddesign.com/summer/apply to NABA summer courses. Here you just fill in the form and make the application, and you can directly book and pay online. Or if you want, you can send us a paper application form, or you can print it and scan it. It depends on how digital you are. And so you can you can apply in these two ways. What about visa? Visa can be required or not depending on your home country. Usually to study for a couple of weeks, a tourist visa is enough, so you might not need to apply for a student visa. However, again, this depends on the country you come from. If you need to apply for a student visa, NABA is going to provide you the certificate of enrollment that certifies that you're actually going to come, and therefore you can apply with that one for the visa. If I can give you a suggestion, if you are in a country where you know that it's complicated to get a visa, that can need a while, that you're not sure, etc., don't wait the last minute. Here you can see that we accept applications until 3 weeks before the course begins, for the joy of Evelina, who is open until last minute, yeah, almost last minute. But if you're applying from a country where it's complicated to get a visa, don't wait that late. Do it before, so you have all the time, and we have all the time to support you. Also because summertime is a pretty crazy moment, usually at the embassies, because all the people who want to come to Europe for tourism are applying for visa, so the waiting time can become really long. And by the way, to encourage you in applying early, let me show you quickly about the tuition fees. That we have general tuition fees and we have a special early bird. A question from Mimi in the meanwhile. If you have a tourist Schengen visa, it works, right? Yes, it does, absolutely. You don't need to any extra visa. And of course, you can then travel across Schengen countries as much as you want. So our tuition fees. The more you take and the less you pay, so to say, because here you see the full fee for one course is 1,595 euros. So this is for 2 weeks. If you decide that you combine two courses, maybe a beginner and an intermediate, or an intermediate and advanced, or two courses into different fields. You are an interior designer who wants to experiment photography, so you are coming to a beginner photography and an intermediate interior design. Both combinations are possible. So up to you, you can combine two sessions. So the total is a little bit lower than the sum of two. Or you can also come for 6 weeks if you want to come and spend 6 weeks with us. And as I was saying, not only for visa, but also for financial reasons, there is an early bird discount, which allows you to save up to the 10% if you book your course within the end of this current year, so before December 31st. So if you already know you want to come, if you're already making plans for next summer, just don't lose time and don't lose the occasion of getting this special early bird offer. Okay? No questions coming, so it looks like all the financial pieces, fine. Usually what happens at this page, at this moment is, what about housing? So let's briefly touch base on accommodation. You're coming for a limited period of time, so you might decide to look for a temporary place, but it's still not a hotel time. I mean, 2 weeks is not ideal time to spend in a hotel, right? Maybe you want a more comfortable place, a place that you can feel like home. So NABA has a dedicated housing office which is in charge of helping students in finding different solutions. You may be in a studio flat, it may be a single room, a shared room, or it may be a hostel or residence. There is a bit of everything. The cost can vary a lot depending on the format you decide. So again, it's pretty flexible. It's up to what you are looking for. Also, in this case, I would say the earlier you book with us, the better it is, because there are more available options. When the time approaches, the prices go high, the best solutions are already gone, so it's better to book in advance. Shaggy, what if you register early and if you don't get visa approval? There is a visa refund policy, so you get refunded, not the total, there is like a small administrative fee, but you get refunded the bigger part of the fee of the tuition. But my colleague is going to provide the details on that because that depends on the visa application. Okay, so there are some restrictions, but you get a refund. And Mimi, to the list, if you mean the list of housing, is not a public list because it's a list of contacts which are managed by the NABA housing office. So the list is not available online. What is available is there is a dedicated website for housing that students access once they are admitted, where they can see the options, but it's not public because it's a service that we give to our enrolled students. So you would be able to access the list once you are in, so to say. Which doesn't mean in July, but once you enroll. Okay? You're welcome. Okay. So just the last technical information. Here you find the email of our colleague who's in charge of the summer courses management. Well, no, sorry, the management is here. From the academic point of view, the queen is Evelina. But in terms of all the admission and application, the email is summer@naba.it. The website, here's the recap, is lauradesign.com/summer. And then you can select Milan as a location and you can decide, you can browse by subject. We have also opened a Facebook group for NABA summer students for next year. Our lovely colleagues of the background have just posted here in the chat box the link, as you can see it. So if you want, feel free to go and join the Facebook group and you will be able to talk among each other and to interact with us. There is the same person who answers to this email and to this phone number who also coordinates this Facebook group. So you can as well talk through it. And last but not least, we would like to, we're not going to show you the video, but we invite you to take a look at this other video. This is a video with some testimonials of our international students. Actually, these are not summer students, but these are students who came for a semester abroad. So they came to take a 6-month option, like the one that was being asked before. And this is like a mix of their testimonials, of their stories about how their Milan experience was. Here's the link is coming. Here it is. So we are actually leaving you with some homework. Number 1, join the Facebook group. Number 2, for the fashionistas, check out the fashion styling video that we tried to show you, but technology doesn't always help. Number 3, check out the student testimonials so that you can hear what the NABA experience is like from the student voice instead of only our voice. And on this note, I think that we have shared with you all what we wanted on our side. So now it's again time for open questions. If there are any, we are going to be here still for a few minutes, so feel free to ask. I see typers. So. You're welcome. So Mimi, we look forward to seeing you in the trend hunting course probably. And to see also the others that were here with us today, our interior designer, our digital illustrator, and everyone. Okay? So again, thank you everyone for joining and looking forward to seeing you in Milano next year.
Thank you guys. Hope to see you soon here.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.